Well, SoFi has had an update from an analyst at Bank of America that says the stock is overvalued and the price has been slashed to $12. The stock is also pulling back just ever so slightly, not as aggressive as Palantir, which, by the way, I said was going to happen. Don't worry about subscribing, smashing the like button, or looking for the coaching and Discord link just yet. We'll get right to that. We're going to talk about SoFi, and we're going to start right now. SoFi has had a tremendous run all the way up over the past month. It's up like over 220% year to date. It's up over 120% in the last 3 months, which is crazy. This is a very good stock, and it's a financial stock. And we know that financial stocks, fintechs, and cyclicals are going to do well. Tom Lee has said this. SoFi is a financial stock and a fintech. It's the perfect time to invest in these types of stocks, especially if the company is good. And Anthony Noto is a good CEO. I've discussed this before, that he likes to underpromise and overdeliver, and he held the stock pretty decently through a very rough time with higher inflation and economic downturns and a lot of headwinds with the economy overall. PMI wasn't doing too well. The rate cuts had kept being delayed, and they still were able to turn a profitable EPS. Now the stock is soaring. The EPS is up to 5 cents on the previous quarter, and they beat the earnings pretty much every single time. So they've got a good history of beating the earnings, and the Feds are dovish. Rates are being cut. PMI data is expanding in the services as well as manufacturing now. Things are looking better. Inflation has dropped now to 2.5-ish% as of a few weeks ago, and the Feds have cut rates multiple times, and there's more on the horizon. We also have the uncertainties of the elections gone. So a lot of things that needed to be cleaned up have happened. A lot of good things for the stock, a lot of good things for investors. The real issue is recently a Bank of America analyst rated SoFi as overvalued and cut the price target to $12. Let's go over some of that right now. Bank of America sees the stock priced to perfection while noting lesser visibility into tech deals and renewed attention on fair value accounting. Following a doubling in SoFi's stock price over a 3-month span, Bank of America analyst is opening up a bearish call on the financial technology name. SoFi's recent execution has been solid, and we expect the student loan refinance business to benefit from a less generous loan forgiving policies in a Trump administration. And this was said by Bank of America's Mihir Abadia, and he wrote this on Monday. That said, after the rally, we believe the valuation is ahead of the fundamentals, and SoFi is priced to perfection. He cut his rating on SoFi to underperform from neutral while sticking with his $12 price objective. SoFi stock closed Friday just north of 16 and is trending down on Monday. The stock now is down to 15.50-ish in change, so that's a little bit lower than it was on Friday. Badia noted SoFi has already issued 2026 guidance for 55 cents to 80 cents in earnings per share. Assuming the neobanking company can hit the high bound of that range, the shares are trading at 20 times that level, a premium relative to peers, he said. The stock is also trading at 32 times the consensus view on earnings per share for 2026, above most high-quality consumer finance companies, Badia wrote. Faster growth warrants a premium, but at 3 times other consumer finance lenders. Further multiple expansion seems difficult from here. For numerous quarters, some investors have worried about SoFi's fair value accounting, and Badia said those worries are back in play. Higher fair value markets will also be amortized, pulled to par, which pressures non-interest income, he wrote. There are also some fears about SoFi's technology segment, given recent guidance indicating elongation of deal closing times. While SoFi noted that deals have not been lost, visibility on revenue acceleration is less clear, Badia wrote. While SoFi is perhaps best known for its lending offerings, the company also offers technology products and solutions to fintech companies and others. Of the 19 analysts who cover SoFi stock, 5 have bullish ratings, 10 rate the stock as the equivalent of neutral, and 4 are in bearish camp. The average price target is $10.94, about 30% below the current levels. SoFi's recent stock rally partly reflects optimism about a better landscape for financial service companies during a second Trump term. Now, I don't think I completely agree with the analyst's perspective on SoFi. Realistically speaking, SoFi has a price to sales of just under 4, and they had just over 2 a few few months ago. And typically anything under 5 or under 8 is really good. And anything under 2, the company hasn't even grown into their valuation yet. Let me show you guys what the price to sales is on Bank of America. But first, before I do that, if this is confusing you and showing you guys price to sales, price to earnings, and all the technical data I'm about to show you, if it confuses you, you're trying to get better, you're trying to learn in the market, maybe retire early, I would love to help you. And like I said many times, I grew up in a Catholic household. Family was very rough on me about doing the right thing. My parents are very strict, and I really love to help others. It's what I aspire to do, is help as many people I possibly can. It's what drives me every single day. If you guys would like to grow your portfolio, like the comments you see on the screen, students from 8,000 to 40,000, 300,000 to 600,000, and others that went from 20 or 30,000 to 75,000 or more in as little as 4 months, I would love to help you. You guys can sign up at any time at investwithcorey.com. Link is in the information box below. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a listen to what my student Shane has to say about my coaching.
When I first started off with options, I knew nothing at all. Corey's program broke it down into very simple steps. Corey broke them down where it was nice and simple, and I was like, oh, okay, I totally understand that now.
How much are you up since the start of joining my program?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'll give you the exact number. Let me bring it up. On average, I was making about $2,200 a month day trading. That was average. In the very first month that I started actually selling options, it jumped up to $14K. And right now in December, I'm already up 6.4 thousand.
You went from day trading to my course, and you were able to go from 2,200 to 14K.
Correct. And I'm up 165% right now.
If someone was trying to decide between my program or another Discord, what would your direct and short message to them be?
Corey's program will save you time and make you money. That's the bottom line right there.
What would you tell someone who is skeptical about learning from someone online like myself?
I bought into multiple different programs. From my experience, Corey's is the safest, very consistent and profitable.
How long did it take you to actually make back the cost of joining the Discord?
From the time I started trading, I made my money back in 2 weeks, 10 days. If you want to count the actual trading days, 10 days. And then I just looked at it and I was like, holy cow. I'm like, I just made $14,000 this month. I'm like, that's like crazy. And, just 1 month, it blew away, almost my entire year of day trading.
What did you start off with in my program? Total capital portfolio. And what are you at now with profits?
Started off with roughly 50,000. I had 25-ish already in stocks. And now I'm up to 75,000.
So you heard my student Shane had to say about my coaching. This success story could be you as well. Just go to investwithcorey.com. You can check out case studies right here on the website. Then click on training right here. You guys can watch this video. It will answer every question you have, and you'll be able to book a call with my team and I so I can get started helping you on your financial journey. And I look forward to seeing you when you're ready to go. And I'm ready to help you when you are ready to commit to yourself and make a change for your financial health and well-being. So I want to show you guys a little something. We have a price to earnings on Bank of America that is 16.99. Very good. But we're looking at a market cap of 352 billion divided by 195.5 billion. Divided by 195.5 gives us a price to sales of 1.8. Very strong. Now, when we go over and look at SoFi, it is 16.9 billion. 16.9 divided by 3.63. We have 4.6. Very good price to sales. There are other companies that have significantly higher. Like if we go look at Apple's price to sales, 3.73 trillion. 3.73 trillion. There we go. This is 3.73 trillion divided by 391. There we go. 391 billion. 9.5. Apple has a price to sales of 9.5. SoFi has a price to sales of 4.5. So they have lots of room to grow. But let me show you a little something else that's kind of iffy. Let me show you how this works to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of where I would compare SoFi to Bank of America. If we look, Bank of America has 7.66 billion shares float, available shares to trade. SoFi has 1.06. So what we're going to do is 7.66 divided by 1.06. There we go. 7.22. You times this by the Bank of America stock price, which is $45.91, because there's 1/7 of the float. So all things equal on market cap, which we haven't gotten that far yet, just on the availability of shares, which is supply and demand, liquidity, 7.22 times the price of Bank of America, because it has to be this much more expensive because this is the difference in the shares float. We haven't gotten to market cap yet. So we times this by 45.91, gives us a share price of $331.76. So I wrote that down, $331.76. What we do now is we take the market cap of $352 billion and divide it by the $17 billion market cap on SoFi, and we get 20.70. What we're going to do is 331, the original number, 0.76, divided by 2070, I believe it was, divided by 2070. We're dividing that price by the market cap, because remember, we multiplied to match the shares float, and now we're dividing to match market cap. We've done this and we come up with a number of 16,027, meaning if they had the same shares float and the same exact market cap relative, this is kind of like a gray area, calculation. It's not really going to hold up, but it's just to give you a general idea. If all things were equal across market cap and shares float, SoFi would be $16. So really, it's not that crazily overvalued. Now, it's really not even overvalued, because we look at Bank of America. I mean, it is to a degree. Bank of America is at 81 cents a quarter, and SoFi is going to be right around 20-ish cents. Between 15 and 20 is what the future guidance is. And 20 cents is 1 quarter. That being said, that puts SoFi at a stock price of $5, but it doesn't include other. See how it's really hard to do this? It's very hard. But realistically, a $12 price target on SoFi is a little conservative, but it is in line with a literal, valuation. Like, it's an absolute valuation of the company right now. And I've said this before in my previous SoFi videos. What is SoFi worth right now? Probably $10 to $12. So the analyst is not far off, but when you bake in future guidance, the growth of the company, I could see it trading premium like it is, maybe a little bit higher, even $17 or $18. But pullbacks are inevitable. They're happening right now. And when we look at SoFi, in my honest opinion, the stock is going to trek to the right a little bit, and I think it's going to consolidate. And you can see what happens here. Something very, very important. The stock is oversold, and yet it still gets bought up right here and right here, meaning buyers are just sitting by, ready to get in, ready to enter the stock. With that being said, I do find it somewhat unlikely that SoFi will fall drastically. I don't think that's going to happen, but we do see the 10-day came below the 20-day, and they both have dropped below the 100. So SoFi is in a downtrend slightly, but with resistance on the bottom. There are a couple of scenarios here. It could come a little bit more to the right over the next couple of days and then start to fall a bit. And we could see some serious support back down here again, which is likely, meaning SoFi is going to be closer to 15, maybe 14.50. Maybe it comes back up a bit and then comes back down. But realistically, in the next week or two, I see SoFi somewhere on the top peak around here or around here. So around 1430 to 1485. So somewhere in the 1450 range, somewhere between 1450 and 15 is where the stock is going to bounce around a bit. In my opinion, that's what's happening. In the next week or two, it's going to start pulling back slowly, and there's a lot of buyers resistance here. But once that breaks, once this support of buyers breaks, the stock will start to drop and come down here and get bought up, and we're going to be in the 14 range, maybe high 13s, but I really think 1450 to 15 is almost for sure. Now, the stock could go up this week and resist the 100-day and break back up and push back up into 1650 and then come back down. It's really hard to say for sure, but I do feel like a pullback is inevitable. Just like I said on Palantir. Palantir dropped $10 today, only 2 days after I put out the video explaining to you guys that, hey, it's not going to go up forever. Do not buy the stock now. Wait. If you want to buy it, just wait for a pullback and dollar cost average. If you buy high, add more when it drops. Same thing with SoFi. Long term, great stock. But the issue is that there is a looming high probability of a pullback. This is not really a pullback right now. I mean, it has come back a little bit. It went from 1660 to the current price of 1550, so $1, which is not that crazy when you think about it. I just don't feel like that's insane. So realistically, the stock going back to 14 down here, right around 14 to 1450 as a support is likely. And you can beat that system by selling puts. collecting premium now. I have $15 puts for sale. Then if the stock drops and it looks like I'm going to get assigned, I'll roll it out a week or two to $14.50 and then add more 14. So if you can get in at 15, $14.50, and 14 and get an average cost of $14.50 or better, you're not doing too bad. I really think anything better than 14 or $14.50, you're doing good on SoFi. It's a long-term hold. Let me show you where you can sell some puts. I'm not bearish on SoFi by any stretch. I don't think it's going to fill this gap either. And the gap is $13. So I think we're probably at the worst case, it's looking like we won't see much below 13 or $13.50. So like I said, the floor for me is somewhere in here in the $14 range, maybe up to $14.50. We shall see. So if we go over here to Fidelity, we can see we got the SoFi chain up. I do have some puts right here on SoFi. I sold 2 SoFi $15 puts, and those puts have a delta of 27 right now, and they have a theta of 486, which is 486 a day. So tomorrow morning, they're going to be worth about $5 or $6 less, even at the same price. So when the markets open up, these puts are going to be worth about 15. I'll be probably right at break even, and then theta will kill it every day, and the stock just has to stay above $15. And right now it's at $15.56. So what I would do is I would go over here and sell a $14.50 for $10. It's much safer. And you could sell at 15 if you wanted, then roll it out. We'll just, pick the strike price that you believe is best. I personally think it's a little safer if you just go with $14.50, but if you want to collect premium, obviously 15. So we will sell this, and we probably, if the stock drops a little bit in the morning, we realistically could get $10 for them. Not much, but it's still $10 juicy premium. Well, maybe not so juicy, but it's decent. And if you want to go out to the following week, which is the 20th, you could sell a $14.50 put for 28 or 14 for $16. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You could sell a put for next week at 14 and get filled between $16 and $20 tomorrow morning or today. Wow, if you're watching this video, today's already happened. But you could definitely sell these puts at some point when you see this video or tomorrow morning, relatively close to $16 or $18, maybe more if the stock goes down. By the time you're seeing this video, it's going to be close to the end of the day, if not the end of the day on Tuesday. And SoFi will likely have pulled back a little bit, probably closer to 15. A consolidation or a pullback to 15, very likely. And these will be worth more by the time you're watching this. So you very well could luck out and get $20 or $25 for it Wednesday morning. But I would sell $14 puts going out to the 20th. It's a week and a half. If you get assigned, you're getting in at 14. That's not too bad, because then you could sell a few more puts at $13.50 or 13 and have a $13.50 average price. Or if the stock does really go down to the high 13s, you could sell 12s or $12.50 going out 2 weeks. But really just trying to accumulate shares and just dollar cost average and hold long term and use the puts to accomplish just that. Like I said in previous videos, SoFi is priced a little high. However, I don't see a drastic pullback happening, but I do see a $1 move to the downside, maybe $1.50 further from where it is now. Selling puts will give you the dollar cost average and help you accumulate shares long term, because overall in the coming year or two, SoFi is a very powerful and strong stock that relies fairly heavily on AI. And not only that, they have a banking charter. And Anthony Noto, quote, said that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when SoFi becomes one of the largest banks in the United States. Don't forget, guys, if you want to take control of your financial freedom, get better as an investor and a trader, and kickstart your financial journey into retirement, I would love to help you. You guys can sign up at any time at investwithcorey.com. The link is in the information box below. You can also sign up for the free newsletter. Thanks for stopping and watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next upload. One love, fam.